What's up, nobodies? It's your co-host Deacon Tuttle, joined with.
Me. That doesn't help. My name's Braxton Zenobio. I'm the co-host here on Nobody's Watching.
All right, so we're both the co-hosts here, and we're here to start off a new era and subgenre within the Goon Productions banner.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I like it.
How does it feel to be branching off into a new world of sorts, Braxton?
A little uncomfortable. I've never done anything like this before. I've never done any sort of podcast. I've had friends that do it. I have, great role models that do it, but I've never done it. And so, it's kind of cool that we're branching off from movies and now into the audio, long form discussion podcast kind of genre. So I'm definitely excited. I got people I want to interview. I got questions I want to ask people, and I got questions I want to ask you. And I just can't wait to jump in. I'm excited.
All right, before we get to the crack-a-lack and interview questions,
The Kraken.
Maybe we should tell the audience and the nobodies that are going to be on the show and just listening of what the show is going to be about.
I'd love to do that.
All right,
I'd love to do that. Yeah. So Nobody's Watching is a podcast totally based on the idea of, well, one, nobody's watching. It's a podcast. No one can see it. But also, underneath that first layer of thematic element, there, we want to have a bunch of nobodies. We want to have not that our friends are nobodies to us, but you ask anyone outside of our circle of friends, right, that they're nobodies. So we want to just bring on a bunch of our friends and just talk about what makes them tick, what they're interested in, interview them, and understand them. And I just think it could be kind of fun to just interview our friends and have that, recording for life, right? And then you can look back on this in 20 years, like, oh, damn, that was funny. And so, yeah, it's basically what Nobody's Watching is all about. I think this first episode, it's just going to be, you guys getting to know Deacon and I as your co-host as we embark on this epic journey to interview our friends
and touch on every subject known to man, essentially.
Basically, yeah, every genre of anything we're gonna talk about: music, TV shows, movies, video games, pop culture. I don't know if I missed any genres, but we're hitting it. Clothing.
Yep.
We got some questions from you guys, our viewers, that we're gonna answer here today. But first off, I think it'd be dope if, because this is an interview format podcast, who else to better interview than the co-hosts themselves? So, Deacon, I got some questions I'd love to ask you.
Yep, before we go global ourselves, we got to start with the nobodies that are hosting the podcast.
It's true. Before we take to new heights. So, Deacon, tell me about yourself. I just want to ask you, first off question, what was your upbringing like? Give me, ages 1 to 5. Go as deep as you want to go.
Okay.
Ages 1 to 5.
So, all right. Do I want to start with the heavy hitting stuff, or I want to start with the comical?
Let's go ages 1 to 10 because there's not a lot of development. Not a lot of development from 1 to 5. You're basically infancy the whole time.
So basically, I'll touch on the infancy for a second. I almost exploded as a child.
What?
And I'm serious. Wait, do you know what I'm talking about right now?
I don't.
This is for the podcast.
Dude, I legit don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I had kidney issues and I had stuff removed, but honestly, I almost exploded because of medical stuff. So
oh my
I wasn't
gosh.
able
what
to
happened? Was the cord
wasn't able to urinate and stuff like that
gosh,
of that nature.
dude.
And my parents hit a small jackpot, praise God, before a couple weeks before my surgery, and I made it out. And this is totally verified. We can ask Tom Tuttle and we can talk to Melissa.
We should get Tom and Melissa on the podcast, separate episodes or on the same.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah. So I almost exploded. I'm sure they know more of the details.
Wait, so were the tubes wrapped around your the umbilical cord wrapped and you kind of were about to combust or?
No, it was more just I couldn't use the bathroom properly as a baby.
So so you were out of the womb.
Oh, I was out of the womb, 100%. I was a year old. I don't know too much about the complications. I just know that I made it. So crap. I'm there's no reason to ponder on the past.
Did you? Kind of weird question. Did you puff up as a baby? Did you get all purple and blue and stuff and puff up?
I'd have to ask for a frame of reference, but I don't
know.
I don't know. I just know that my head was insanely large until I was about 10 and I finally grew into it. So.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. But besides that, I guess I'll talk about another near death experience when I was 4.
Oh my gosh.
A massive tree almost fell on me when we were camping in Alabama.
Oh my gosh.
My uncle Mike had to take me out of the RV before that fell in the night. So that happened. And then on that same trip, I believe, is when I had Dr. Pepper for the first time, and I vomited all over my mom's new prized possession Eddie Bauer car seat.
You say vomit?
Yeah, I vomited.
Oh.
I had like a whole 2-liter thing of Dr. Pepper when I was like 4 because everyone left me unattended.
Dude, my mom wouldn't even let me go near Dr. Pepper when I was 4 years old.
So it happened.
You were living the life.
If I'm botching these stories, then my editors can fact check me back home.
There you go, editors.
I mean, it was like 1 through 4. But besides that, I'm kind of a jack of all trades in terms of interests.
Sure.
I used to be into skateboarding a lot, BMX biking.
Yeah.
Always like comics and superheroes.
Totally.
2 of my favorites, everyone knows, back home, but Spider-Man and Batman.
Totally.
Good Spider-Man memory. First memory as a human being would probably be in theaters watching Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 1.
Smack.
I have a vivid image of Green Goblin in the hoodie, like with the blanket over his head, and then turning around and going, yeah! Wow! That'll probably be loud for you guys. I'm
That's
sorry.
That's going to be so loud. I watch the every time we speak, it goes zoom up into the red. So,
but yeah, that was for added effect of the burning fire.
Crap.
So that happened, and this is another good anecdote here. Batman. I used to be obsessed with the song "Headstrong" by Trapt, and I used to tell my dad, "Hey, Dad, put on a Batman fight song." There is literally no connection between Batman and that song, but it's Headstrong, I'll take you on. Headstrong, I'll take on anyone. I was like, that's Batman to me. So those are a couple of things about my early childhood. Those are some things.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know if that answered your question, but they're fun stories I've never told.
I mean, you kind of got into stuff I want to know. Like with skateboarding and comic books and those early interests, what sparked those? Was it just be like the comic book specifically, Spider-Man and Batman? Like, was it because those were your first memories as a human on this earth, or was it? Do you like have this moment where you're like, oh, I was reading this, this comic about Spider-Man, and something just clicked and I just couldn't put it down, or?
Yeah, I think it's because I've always kind of known that stuff from like an early age. I think my parents did a really good job of letting me experience a bunch of different hobbies, and then I kind of just chose what was either like given to me or I found what I liked as I grew older. But I think a lot of it was probably just because it's what I remember.
Sure.
So I kept doing that, and then as I've gotten older, I've seen interest in a lot of other stuff. So I guess maybe when I was younger, those would have been more in line with just things I've grown accustomed to at the time.
Totally. That's cool. Mm-hmm. That's really cool. Were you an indoor or an outdoor kid?
That's a good question. I would say mostly an outdoor kid I would say mostly an outdoor kid when I was younger.
Now that's an interesting combination. The comic book kid, but also an outdoor kid.
Yeah.
Were you like in the tree reading the books like Frodo from Lord of the Rings, or?
I'm not a Frodo fan particularly, so maybe I don't resonate with the character.
Okay.
But I would say shout out Frodo Baggins.
Shout out to Bag.
That's for you, Evan Couch. I know you'll listen to it probably.
Oh gosh.
I think my default would be probably to try to get the energy out first and then come home and play video games type of vibe. So I do both.
Okay.
And it just depended on which one of my friends were out and about at the time.
Sure.
And I had because I lived in an apartment complex growing up.
Yeah.
It just depended on which of those friends were like out and about, like I said, and over the years they kind of changed as they left and moved.
Right.
So I would have just year on, year out. It was different.
That's so cool. Mm-hmm. Okay. Very cool. Okay, like what were your friendships like as a kid? So like maybe you can talk about specifically who they are. Like I know, I've known you for a long time now. Like guys like Jared and Brandon and Nathan. Like, how did you kind of what were these kind of origin stories for these friendships, and like what kind of friend would you say you were as a kid? Man. Yeah.
Okay, so I've known Jared Lutman since I was in preschool. So always attached to the hip, and we've kind of, I think as the years have gone on, maybe you can relate to this too, that you have that one friend that's always with you, And even though the years, like, the connection might not always be as tight, you have that person. So it varies as it goes on. So I think I was really close to Jared for the first couple years of our friendship. And probably around the time, like, third grade hit is when we started hanging out with other people, but we would still be in the same crowds and playing on the same sports team. So that was fun. And then as it came into junior high and high school, that's when he kind of stuck around as the mainstay. And so it's really weird, like, knowing that you've known somebody for that long, but you can't remember, like, over half of those, like almost half of a decade, because it's, like, really early in your childhood.
Yeah.
So that's an interesting thing. And as far as a friend that I would have been, hopefully a good one. I don't know. I don't know if they stuck around just because I knew them, but maybe some kind of some kind of thing in there was a good moment, and they kind of latched onto something.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That's a good question. I'd have to ask them. Maybe they could answer why they liked being friends with me.
That's cool. Okay. So as you kind of establish yourself, infant deacon. Now, what was life like in high school for the people that don't know?
Okay.
For the nobodies that know.
Something that I haven't mentioned yet is I really like sports, and I really like playing and watching sports.
Yeah.
So I can't believe I haven't mentioned that really. Besides, I mean, skateboarding and BMX is
that's sport.
Is a sport.
That's pretty intense sport. That's a freaking a very like. I would say that takes a lot of skill. I mean, the guys like Tony Hawk, and I don't know anyone in the BMX world, but do you?
His name's Travis.
Travis Scott.
Travis Pastrana. There you go.
Travis Pastrana.
Pastrana. I almost went Jeff Goldblum right there. But
Gold.
Yes.
That's cool.
Team sports. I love baseball. I always have instilled in me from.
You're wearing a baseball sweatshirt right now.
I am. I'm wearing my. So I went to Cascade Christian from preschool up until high school.
Dude, so that's a legacy. Like,
you
were a trailblazer.
Oh yeah.
You literally, like, every step you took, like, was in that building.
Yeah.
Like, every learning moment you had, like, in the educational field was in that building.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
Yeah,
dude, that's kind of cool.
It's a long ride. That's.
Did you ever get sick of it?
No.
Never.
No, I loved all. I loved all the people. I had very supportive teachers, and I grew up alongside the same people. Totally. You'd think I would have gotten sick of them, but I mean, maybe some of them,
Yeah. I think that's some of the magic, that. Sorry to cut you off, but some of the magic of, like, the Christian school. I think that the teachers are more, they're not just your teacher, but they're also, like, they care about your spiritual well-being. True. Especially the teachers that teach you, like, Bible class and stuff like that. Like, and we can get into it when, we do reverse and you interview me. But when I was going to Life Christian Academy, like, I never felt like these teachers are just my teachers. I always felt like they cared about my spiritual well-being, even though I was in third grade and I, didn't really have a massive walk with God. But yeah. Anyway, back to you. I agree. But Cascade Christian baseball, you got into that because of your dad, yeah?
Yeah. So I've always played baseball. My dad, he was actually my coach for a couple of years. Shout out Orioles, that 2010, 2011 team. I have a knick-knack of it's like this baseball glove. I'm trying to visualize you, for all you audio listeners, because that's all we have right now. Is this
everyone?
Yes, it's this glove of sorts. It's like bronze, and it says Deacon Tuttle, the Hammer, was my name, because I was just smoking those balls,
Dude,
on the outfield.
Smoking balls. That
I was just out there.
Wow, you were smoking balls.
I was just out there, man.
I've never smoked a ball before, but anything.
So shout out Orioles.
Shout out Orioles.
I also played with some of my best friends on that team for a long time too, so that was cool.
Jared?
Jared was never on that team, but Nick Dillon, good friend of mine.
He didn't make the cut.
Man, I'm just name dropping all these people.
I know, you're shouting out all your day one homies. This is kind of epic.
It's great. But yeah, I love baseball, and I also played basketball in high school too.
Okay.
So yeah,
very cool.
I'm interested in sports writing. I've done a little bit of that since coming to Central, which has been cool. And I don't know if it's as like, I don't know, like it's not one of the big pillars of my life anymore. But I think that's also good for like in terms of if I want a career. I don't know if I want that to be my end all be all thing. Like I think it would be cool to separate my hobbies and my career interests in something.
Yeah, totally. It's a balance.
They're not overlapping
people
all the time.
have now. Yeah.
So, yes, do you like sports?
That's awesome. Would you say that the elementary infant kind of stage of Deacon Tuttle was more superhero fantasy comic book era, and then you reached high school and it was like, it's game time. I'm more sports oriented, and they never, it doesn't mean that you did one or the other during those times, but like, do you think one had more priority over the other? Excuse me.
I would say definitely, because I think as far as career aspirations, they might have switched in a little bit this way. Like now with like hanging out with you and everyone else here, like we're really focused on creative efforts and launching these kinds of things. And I think in high school that was what dominated a lot of my days, or at least definitely after school. I mean, hours and hours and trips that you had to take for. That looked like somebody was directly out of her window. But anyways.
We're in my room on the floor for reference. For those of you that know my bedroom, we're sitting on the floor. Deacon's just basically crisscrossed applesauce, and we're huddled around this epic microphone I got for Christmas. And I'm leaning up against my bed, and I'm drinking a seltzer right now. The San Juan Huckleberry. Yeah. It's pretty good. But yeah, anyway.
Oh.
I don't even know what we were talking about.
What was I saying? Oh crap!
But the differentiation of genres of things you're
into. Yeah, we're creating stuff a lot now. So in high school, a lot of my days were comprised of at least thinking about sports. And then my off time would be, let's go catch the new Marvel movie, or let's go do this. Okay. And I was doing a lot more of like collecting stuff in comics than maybe reading them.
Sure.
Because I just didn't have a lot of my time in my day, and that was when I was on more of my my movie and TV binges, because if anybody knows me, I go through seasons of entertainment.
Oh my gosh.
So it's a hot topic.
Break down that seasons of entertainment. Give us the REM cycle. Okay. The freaking...
So I work in quarters, probably. I think that...
You do.
There's 12 months in a year, right? I'll say there's 4 seasons of Deacon.
Okay.
For entertainment purposes. I go through about 3 months on average where I'm interested in comics.
Okay.
Another 3 on movies and TV, because I see them on the same realm. 3 months on video games. And then 3 months on either podcasts or YouTube. Just watching random YouTube videos or just listening to...
Yeah? Yeah. And what are you in right now?
What am I in right now?
And also, would anime fall in the TV movie?
Oh, I forgot that.
Because you do go through a manga anime phase, so...
I do. I think it's probably because that's a little bit newer to me. Then, yeah, I guess, I'd slip in, comics and manga would be under the same umbrella. Right. And then I would slip in anime with the TV and movies. But I don't know what it is. I get in this lane where I'm like, it has to be one or the other. And I can't.
Totally. It's so funny, too, because, like, being your roommate, I've seen this happen 3 times now. Because throughout the 3 years, we've basically been together. A third year. So I'm just going to go basically off of that technicality. But, like, even when we weren't roommates freshman year, like, I noticed it. Because, like, there was a time when you first started playing the Metal Gear Solid games. And, Deacon, you beat 4 games that are substantially long and have massive cutscenes, especially the 4th game. In, like, what was it, 2 weeks?
That was 2 weeks, yeah. It was 2 weeks. I beat 1 and 2 in a matter of 4 or 5 days. And this is obviously when I didn't know you or Owen very well.
Right. And so you had a lot... Would you say you had a lot more time?
Oh, I had way more time back then, man. Dude, freshman year of college, that was amazing. Dude, I was literally staying up until 3 a.m. playing that, like, all those games.
Do you miss that?
I do miss that.
Yeah.
I do miss that. But there was a time where... it was just around, it was either, I'm pretty sure it was before church, and you're like, oh yeah, how's it going? And, I'm like, oh, I'm good, I'm about to beat 2. And then that was like, it was only like a day and a half since the last time we'd seen each other, and you guys were like, what? You're about to beat the second one right now?
Yeah, that's pretty insane.
Yep.
Oh my gosh. Holy crap, dude. We should talk about Metal Gear Solid sometime on this podcast. We should go in depth on it, because we could
Bruce likes it. Bruce likes Metal Gear a lot.
Dude, what if we get Bruce on?
It could be epic.
Bruce, shout out Bruce if you're listening to this right now. Prepare your lore.
My sweet Bruce.
Sweet Bruce.
My sweet brother Bruce.
Sweet brother Bruce. Okay, totally. And then I have one more question on your kind of persona. Actually, I have two. Okay. One, what's Deacon like college to now? Beginning of college till now. Oh. Give us that. And then also within that question, what is your interpretation of how we first met? Like, what's the first memory and stuff like that?
Okay, that's good. I would say that when I first showed up to college, I was incredibly shy. And I think I expected that was going to happen. But I would find my people. I just didn't think it would be as fast as it was. Sure. So I wasn't nervous about going out and making friends, but I was more like, okay, well, how do you change when you've had an established group of friends for over like 10 years, like your core group? So that was pretty.
Sure.
That was pretty life changing, and obviously, like stepping out into college itself is like the first, like gateway into like adulthood in a way. It's young adulthood, but so I was thinking about that a lot, and I would say that in the last 3 years, I've let people know more about myself than I thought I was going to, even people that I'm not really close to.
Totally.
So I would say that's one of the main changes about my life.
And that's sometimes hard too, right? To open for you to open up to people that you don't know, and like even from going from where you were freshman year, where that was probably like it never would happen, right? To now, that's still a challenge. Yeah. Yeah,
I think. Yeah, I've just learned in a positive way, just not to care what people think, and just like everyone is.
Oh, I think Charlie we're
experiencing a cramp.
Oh my god, dude. Oh my gosh.
You want me to hold your leg?
Dude, no, okay. God, I'm rubbing it right now, but my calf I just touched it and it exploded in pure rage and whatever that is. Whatever that is. Okay, I'm so sorry.
No, that's okay.
I'm so sorry.
That was good because I was going to start rambling. Essentially, I went from shy to not being as shy.
Okay, epic. And then what's your first memory of me, or your first interpretation of kind of how we met and then where our friendship is now?
So I went to a friend's house, and we were watching the Monday night game. It was Bengals-Steelers. I'm pretty sure no one on earth remembers this game besides us because it sucked. It was a really bad game.
Well, it's historical to you and me.
Yeah, now it's historical. And it was probably, I don't know, the second week of college or something, second or third week, probably second week.
Yes, it was definitely very early. Yeah, because it was the beginning of the NFL season. I think it was a preseason game too, wasn't it?
I think week. I don't know. It was towards the beginning of the season. Sure. But I was sitting there with a bunch of people I didn't really know, and I'm like, oh, these guys seem cool. And we were watching this Domino's ad. I'm pretty sure there was a Domino's ad was going on. And then Braxton here, the co-host of this venture, said I don't even remember what the joke was, but I laughed and I was like, this guy's funny. I was like, yeah, this guy's cool. I need to hang out with this guy. I don't know what it was, but I just remember laughing and being like, okay, this guy's cool. Like,
maybe we need to ask
and you were posted up I don't know. I'm trying to visualize it, but I just realized that we're not a visual medium
again. Like a beach babe?
Yeah, kind of like a beach babe. And then there's this bean bag, like a massive bean bag, and a bunch of people huddled around it. And I just remember so I just remember that, and I was like, okay, yeah, this guy's cool. So that was my first memory of you. And then as far as ones that, oh man, Panda Express is probably the first time.
Which time though?
So Panda Express, I would say circa September, let's say 25th, 2019, is when, this is, if you see we Wildcats are here, then that's when Panda first launched and we had lines outside the door. Let's just say there was a possible altercation that I thought Braxton was going to get involved in, and I thought that was hilarious. And
maybe explain that real quick.
Okay, I can do that. So I see this childhood friend from my school, and I haven't seen him in a while. And he goes, "Oh hey, how's it going?" And he cuts the line. This line is massive. It's going out the door.
You're missing a crucial aspect.
I'm missing an aspect already?
Yeah. Okay. You're missing how I'm standing there, minding my own business, because there was a lull in the conversation, right? And we're all just kind of, looking at the ceiling and looking at our shoes because we don't really know each other that well yet. It's me, you, Owen, and Benny, I think.
Totally. Yeah.
And for those of you that don't know us, that's, the original Goons. We're all roommates together right now. That's what we call ourselves, Goons. But anyway, I'm standing there and I'm looking at the ceiling, and then my eye catches this other dude's eye, and he's looking directly at Deacon. His chest is like puffed up and his shoulders are cocked back. Like,
you're right.
Like you're about to walk into like Terminator, like T2, man. And he starts walking over his dead stare at Deacon. And I don't really know Deacon, but, I would consider myself a fighter for the ones I love. And, I don't know if I could confirm, say that I loved you in that moment as a brother.
That was the first moment you knew you loved me. But, is so nice.
Maybe. Who knows? It's quite possible.
It's possible.
That could be that's literally like week 1 of school. But, I don't know. I don't know if it's the first time I realized I love you. Oh, this is getting intimate.
This is good.
This is intimate. But what was I gonna say? Oh, he
Terminator.
puffs it and he's marching towards Deacon, and I see this, and I've gotten in a fighter there fighter two here and there. I don't know why I said that like freaking robot, but he starts marching over, and I start to I clench my fists, and I kind of cock my shoulders back and puff my chest out, and then he starts talking to Deacon, and then Deacon just starts laughing, and he's not even opening. You're not even opening your eyes. You're laughing so hard.
Oh yeah.
And he starts talking to us, and then I don't want to steal your story, so you can keep going.
I just totally had this. They were kind of going back and forth. This friend and Braxton, and I just didn't know Braxton very well, but I didn't think that he was hostile, but I just had this feeling that he was ready to throw down. I just
you that
you were ready to throw down.
Oh my god,
that's just what I remember.
Well, I was, because I didn't know this dude, and he just marched up on us, and I'm like, okay, these are my new friends. I gotta put in a good impression with my new boys. These could be my new boys, right?
It was so awkward. But then, anyways, we get to the food ordering stage. We get up there.
Oh my gosh,
that's the best part. He goes, "You got me right." And I'm like, and I started laughing as I do, and then as Braxton just mentioned, I don't know if I still do it as much, and maybe I need to ask everyone again, but I closed my eyes, and I looked up at the ceiling, and then I looked back down, and I opened them, and he was still deadpan, and I went, no! And then I just said no, and then he was like, oh, okay, and then, Braxton being cool, he was like, oh, I'll cover your food.
Yeah,
and then
I had the big meal plan. I had the biggest meal plans, and I didn't need it, so
that was cool. And then the guy goes, well, I'm getting a bigger plate. I'm getting 3 entrees. Yeah. All teriyaki chicken. All fat.
That's the most expensive.
I'm getting all fat with sauce.
Expensive item on the menu. It's isn't it like $10 for a...
Oh no, the plate's $10. It's like $13 or something without tax.
No, but it's like $1.25 extra for to get, because it's fresh chicken. It's like real. They cook it that morning. It's not like the... Yeah. I mean, they do cook the orange chicken, I'm sure of it. Yeah. I don't know really the formalities of chicken cooking. But anyway, he asked for the bigger plate.
And it was a no-go. But then he still got it. He bought it on his own.
He did buy it on his own.
It's not like he was hurting for funds. He just wanted us to pay for him.
Yeah, that was really weird. He kind of, and now he's the president of our school?
No, he's not the president of our school.
Oh.
Well, no.
Oh, he's the president of...
He does something. Let's keep it anonymous.
We'll keep it anon. I think it'd be epic to have him on.
It could be cool.
I think it'd be cool. We could reveal it to them on air. That would be really funny.
Yeah. No slander. No slander. No libel.
All love. Yeah. All love to this character. Yeah. But yeah, totally. That's awesome. Well, that's really all my interview questions I had for you. I mean, I have some other questions that we could go back and forth real quick at the end, and then the viewer question or the audience questions, and then that's all I have left. But yeah, you could. Right. Yeah. Oh, it's my turn.
All right.
Here we are.
First question. I'm rattling off to you. I'm gonna piggyback off this upbringing and family life.
Okay.
What are the first 3 things that you associate with your childhood? It could be memories.
Gosh.
It could be memorabilia. It could be anything of the sort.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So I'm the second child of my mom and dad, Mark and Paula, and my older brother Addison. Something that just came to mind, like an item, like I don't even would call it a memorabilia, but it's just an item that I don't even know if we have anymore, but I fixated on my mind right now. So my brother, who has this terminal illness called Duchenne's muscular dystrophy, for those of you that don't know what that is, in brief, our bodies produce something called dystrophin, our muscles, and this disease is where the muscles in his body, they don't produce enough dystrophin, and so they, around age 10, they're growing, and then they stop, and then they start to decrease slowly over time, and so it gets to the point where you can't walk no more, and you can't lift dinner plates, and it honestly is heartbreaking, but praise God, I've come to terms with it, and he knows Jesus and he's saved, and so that's given me comfort and my family comfort. But anyway, can't get too sappy on episode 1, but we used to. So how the disease kind of functions, as he loses function in his feet, right? His toes start to get pointed, kind of like a ballerina. I'm kind of doing it right now here in the stew in my bedroom floor.
Again,
but kind of like that, right? And if you're not moving stuff, it gets stuck like that. Mm-hmm. So you've seen Addison's feet, they're like that, permanently, and I don't think they can ever go back, right? And so, but to prevent that from happening, we always, because he would walk on his tippy toes, right? I don't know why. It's part of the disease that I have no idea why that kids with Duchenne's muscular dystrophy walk on their tippy toes, but it's something they do, and I'm sure mom and dad know. I'm sure the editors know, right? But anyway, right? I'm piggybacking off of your comment, the editors, right?
My parents are the editors.
They're the editors of this podcast here. Anyway, these boots that would help straighten Addison's feet and to be flat-footed, and they're like these white, like plastic boots with like little like plastic metallic like bolts in them that would like you could like move them around like a, you know when you stick a pin in two pieces of paper and they'd move like a robot when you were a kid. You know what I'm talking about?
I've never experienced that.
Oh, okay. But anyway, it was a mechanism, right? These boots that you strap on, and he wore these long, like, colonial era white socks.
Okay.
Right? Like, literally, like, above the knee socks. Because the boot would go, like, above the knee, right? And he's, like, 6 or 7 doing this, and I'm, like, an infant. And I'm like, oh, boots, ha, ha, ha. Yeah. But I had no idea what they were really for.
Yeah.
And it would help him walk flat-footed, but he would hate wearing them. Because, obviously, his foot was shaping a different direction. It was hurting him, right? And so... he stopped as he got older, and, we just let, nature take its course on his legs and stuff like that. But that is something I specifically kind of associate with my childhood. And and I was always like, kind of I knew he had the disease because I have this specific moment. This kind of also answers the question. I might have to have more than 3 here.
Okay.
There's just so much gushing in right now. As I remember that at a young age, there's a specific moment where my mom basically told me that my brother has a disease and it's terminal, and life expectancy is normally around like 12 years old, which is crazy. And by the grace of God alone, and I don't know how, but he's going to turn 25 in August.
Yeah.
Insane in the brain. And I would say he's lived a pretty successful life. He's run his own business. But anyway.
A to Z. I can't speak. A to Z.
You
to do it. Oh my gosh.
On Instagram and Facebook at A to Z Designs. They helped us do our logo, which is freaking badass, if I'll say so myself. It's amazing.
That was perfect. That was what I was attempting to say, but I think it's because I haven't had water in about 6 hours. My mouth be dry.
I have some right here. I know. We don't really have any liquids in here. We have have 2 Heritage shots of Cocoa Bomb whiskey and Huckleberry vodka.
Shout out
Heritage Brewing, Distilling, and all that. But anyway, did you get any water?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Amazing. Okay, but this specific, remember my mom told me that, and I was standing in my mom's bathroom, and she just told me that. And so that's a memory that I associate with my childhood. And then... I was pretty much an outdoor kid, like you, play outside all day, and around like 5 o'clock after dinner, my mom would let me have like an hour or 2 for video games, and then the games we play would be a lot of Splinter Cell and Metal Gear Solid. Ratchet and Clank was probably the biggest game, and Star Wars Battlefront and Lego Star Wars, those kind of games. And so a lot of me sitting on my butt and just watching Addison play video games, because he was always, and still is, way better than me at video games. Whether that's just how his brain operates or that's, what he's gotten good at because of the disease, and he can't, run around outside like me and you can. But, a lot of that, I have the specific memory where in Ratchet and Clank, I think it's Tools of Destruction, the third installment in the game, there's this boss fight versus the Britney Spears ripoff character called Courtney Gears, baby.
Oh my gosh.
And it was like she'd call us squishies and stuff like that, and Addison could not beat that boss fight for his life. For his life. I've never seen this man like this before. This was like my brother's first like rage at video games. He's not really a rager at games. He normally just come on, and then he just scoffs. But I love you, Addison, so much. I have this specific memory where there's a wooden rocking chair and I'm sitting in it, and Addison's literally slamming his fist on the carpet, crying. And my mom's like, "What's wrong, Addison?" And I don't know if I'm crying or laughing. Probably both. Yeah. I don't know. But I was kind of a bastard as a kid. Probably both. Yeah. And Addison's crying. My mom's like comforting him. And he's like, "I can't beat this stupid game." It's And that's just that from like
That's such a nice memory.
It is, but it's also sad because like I saw like a broken, disheveled version of my brother crying out over a digital crop top wearing metal woman.
Dude, everyone needs to go on YouTube and look up Courtney Gear's music video because that music still slaps. I'm gonna listen to it tonight after this.
Dude, I'll be real.
So good.
Courtney Gear is one of my like first crushes in like as a kid.
Chrome.
Like, dude, that chrome body, dude, and she wore that little like robot bikini and
the red and the hairband.
Dude, the red and the pigtails. The pigtail. Wait, did she have pigtails or did she have just the hairband? I think it was the hairband.
Yeah, it was the hairband.
Yeah, I don't know, but just I don't know. This is kind of weird. I'm gonna save this for Magnuson's question. I'm gonna say this, but anyway, yeah, okay. Next question. That's kind of my childhood.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
This is more of a low key one. Did you have a stuffed animal that you were attached to?
Oh my gosh, there was so many.
Okay.
Because I'd lose them all, or I just like move on.
Yeah.
Right. A couple that come to mind. I don't know. There was Dino, the dinosaur. I was big into imaginary friends, which...
That's what I was going to ask. I was going to say, if you don't have one, then you should listen.
Okay, I had my main girl, Taylor, love you, respectively, but my main and day one girl, Gukka. Gukka was her name was Gukka. Wait, was it Gukka? Okay.
Your main girl, I don't even remember her name.
Well, no, dude, Gukka, I don't know where she is now, but imaginary friend Gukka, okay, for some reason, in my head, when I think of her, she's like a human version of DW from Arthur. Arthur's the girl in Arthur, DW.
Gotcha. Okay.
So for some reason, she's wearing DW's fit, but just like a human with probably like the same color hair as my mom.
Oh, okay.
Or blonde. I don't know. I was really into blondes as a little kid.
Okay.
For some reason, I was a very girl and oriented like growing up. I was always into girls. I was always chasing girls. But are you looking up DW?
I had to look up what Dora Winifred Reed?
Is that her real name? Dora Winifred?
Red, yeah. This is crap. I accidentally just downloaded the image.
Crap.
Yes. And
That is
apparently,
fantastic.
side note, always voiced by boys.
Wait,
The
DW is
character,
voiced by
yeah.
a boy?
2021
That
article.
changes the whole Gukka
NPR.
game, man.
All right,
That
there we go.
changes it all. But anyway, there was Gukka. And my mom thought we were boyfriend and girlfriend. And
Dude.
yeah. But Dino, this little green dinosaur with a red t-shirt on that said Surf's Up
Vibe.
on it. It was awesome. And then also Barry. Every iteration of Barry. Let me just walk you through the timeline.
Good.
The OG version of Barry was a black stuffed bear. Tragic end to him. Kind of like Laszlo is his name. And Lasso in freaking Toy Story 3. What's his name?
Oh, Lotso.
Lotso.
Yeah.
Kind of like Lotso, left
Yeah.
out in the rain. So
Okay.
I left Barry out on the swing set in
Was
my
he
backyard. Honestly, my mom just threw him away.
Oh, that is so he's definitely vengeful.
I think he's dead.
I mean, but he experienced some kind of emotion at the lake.
Probably, dude. He was locked outside for a whole night in the rain for multiple nights because it was I live in Gig Harbor with my parents. That's where my parents live, and for those of you who don't know, that's freaking rainy all the time on that part of the west side, and he got soaked and just destroyed. It was gravel and there was pine trees and dude just destroyed. Literally
Just got thrown through the ringer.
He did. Second iteration of Barry got him. So a study buddy. Did you have a study buddy growing up in kindergarten? Like a fifth grader would come in the classroom and like hang out with you.
Oh, dude, I haven't thought about that kind of thing in a long time.
Yeah. So I had a study buddy. His name was Ryan, and he got me a bear because he was a lousy study buddy. He never showed up like to any of the meetings, and I piggybacked off this girl Megan, who was my first like official girlfriend in kindergarten.
What? Okay, side note real quick, not to cut in.
Yeah.
My first crush ever was a girl named Megan for about like the first 2 to 3 years of school.
That is so weird.
Yeah.
Did she move away?
Megan Wright. That's her name. Same Megan. No, I'm just kidding.
No, I'm not joking. It was a Megan Wright who was my crush.
No, shut up.
Was she blonde?
No.
Oh, okay.
You knew another Megan Wright?
That's weird. It was Megan Wright.
I gotta grab my yearbook.
I know,
after
me
this.
too.
What?
Oh my
Dude,
God.
okay, maybe we should explain this mind link thing that we have on this podcast too.
Yeah, I think we should. Yeah. Write that down so we don't miss that. Okay. But, where was I? Oh, Ryan.
Yeah.
And he was a lousy study buddy, and he never showed up. I think just because he was behind in school and his teacher wouldn't let him go, which is, understandable. Shout out Ryan wherever you are now these days. I don't know, All I remember you is your buzz cut and your red polo that we had to wear at school. Yeah. And he got me a bear, right? Or wait, no. Ryan didn't get me the bear. Megan's study buddy girl, I think her name was Teresa, she got me the bear. She got me and Megan bears. And she got a pink one and I got a brown one. And he had a little cute brown bow tie on. And he had like really long legs and like a short body. And so that was that iteration of Barry. And then my kind of last stage of stuffed animal, I got one of the big Costco bears. I saved up all my money. I think it was like $20. Saved all my money up. And then I went to Costco and bought the first like big stuff. You know what I'm talking about? Those big stuffed bears? Like the human size stuffed bears at Costco.
Sold those.
Oh yeah, that was
I'm kind of new to the Costco game.
That was oh really? Oh, I've always been a kind of a Costco QFC guy. Those are my things. As I guess growing up, those grocery outlets. Those are kind of stuffed animals. And then the final stuffed animal, I think I have. Oh crap!
Dude, I just got a notification. Dude, they're interrupting the podcast.
What a tangent. Was this little yellow duck. I don't know what kind of flu I had, but I literally had hallucinations. Yeah. I can't remember, but you know the Cat in the Hat live action movie?
Okay.
And the purple goop? What's good?
That just scared
the crap out of me.
Holy cripe.
Benny our roommate, walked in and peered his little head in.
Dude, we're getting scared twice in the same episode now.
Oh my gosh. Wait, what'd you get scared by the beginning?
There was somebody walking directly behind.
Wait, they were looking in the window?
No, they weren't looking. That would have screamed. But they were standing like directly by.
I kind of wish it was someone that looked in. I haven't been spooked in a while. We haven't been really in a horror movie watching mood. We need to go watch Men.
Oh, we do.
Movie Men.
We do need to watch that. I heard it's crazy.
Yeah, insane. Okay, but I got the movie Cat in the Hat live action, and you remember the purple gloop that was in that movie? Okay. Do you remember that?
Is this a Cheshire cat or not?
No, this is Cat in the Hat. This is like cool. Dr. Seuss, Cat in the Hat.
Oh, hold up. I don't know why I was just thinking Johnny Depp, Alice in Wonderland. That's literally what my brain just told me. You were telling me, even though I heard Cat in the Hat. Okay, now that makes a lot more sense. That was so weird. Okay, anyways, shout out Johnny Depp.
Shout out Depp. Good job on winning the case. Good way. Dude, shout out Depp. Shout out his lawyers. Anyway.
Okay, yes.
Okay. Oh my gosh, I'm literally dead. I'm dead. Oh my gosh, I'm delusional, man. Okay. But do you know what movie I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Cat now yes, Mike Myers. And do you remember Mike Myers and the purple gloop that was in that movie?
Yes.
Do you remember that?
Yes.
I had hallucinations that everyone from Cat in the Hat, the whole cast, was trying to feed me that purple gloop, and like it was in that.
I've heard this before. Yeah.
Yeah, and I had hallucinations about it, and so my mom, me being out of school for a little bit, she got me a little yellow duck with a little duck, and I loved ducks at the time, and yellow is my favorite color of all time, and it had a little purple bow tie on it, and it was so freaking cute, and I loved it. So that was my stuffed animal kind of thing. And shout out Gucka.
I love it.
My main girl.
Oh man, those are some good tangents we just went on.
We did. I like it.
Alright, the next one I have is tell us about the home you spent most of your life in.
The home? Mm-hmm. Wow, okay. So my mom and dad's house. In Gig Harbor. I almost dropped the address, but that'd be kind of weird.
Show up. I'll pull up.
I'll pull up to the address. Give me the Addy. Let me tell you about the house. It's pretty big. My parents, fortunately, there was a time of where they were not really well off with money, and it was a struggle, and we lived in an apartment, and my mattress was on the floor of this apartment. And I love that. And we've talked about that before, about mattress living on the floor.
I love doing that. My dad literally forced me to stay in a bed instead.
Yeah, low key, might do it next year in the new house, just like kind of floor chumping it. It could be kind of fun. Probably won't do that. Yeah. Gotta be honest.
It sounds good.
But maybe one night when we sleep in the backyard, we bring our mattresses out there. That'd be kind of fun. Anyway, shoot, darn, where was I going? What was the question again?
So tell us.
The home, yeah. So, fortunately, my parents are pretty well off. So we built our house, built it, and there's an elevator in the house. That's probably the biggest one-off thing I gotta say about that, is that there was an elevator in there because my brother, walking up and down the stairs was really getting hard as he grew older, and it's a pretty big house. Me and my brother shared a room for a while. This one specific memory in the house is I was going down the bunk bed And I used to go. I wouldn't like how you climb a ladder and you grab on and then you walk down backwards in a way. I flipped it and like slid my body down. Like I put the balls of my feet on the steps versus the tips of my toes.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Kind of weird. And I was doing that, and Addison poked my like the back of my knee, like the joint, right? And my leg fell forward, and I
what?
landed straight on my nuts, my prepubescent
Dude.
nuts. It was devastation. I literally I remembered this sound I made. I'm not gonna replicate it because I'm looking at the audio spikes.
Is it
when we laugh,
spiking? Is it spiking?
It's good. It's good. We'll fix it.
Okay.
But yeah, I shrieked. But yeah, that was kind of fun, and we shared a room for a while, and then we kind of, as we got older, he went in his room and mine, and there was like this blue bathroom. We always called it the blue bathroom, and it's got like ocean decor in it and stuff like that, and it always connected me and my brother's room. So we were always, me and my brother, wherever our rooms were, we were always connected in some way. So we either slept in the same room. So there was a time when we slept in the playroom. We moved in the playroom, and our parents remodeled the whole thing. So it was kind of our pad and stuff, and that was a huge gift to us and stuff. That was really cool. But and then we kind of moved back to the separate room vibe where he slept in one of the bedrooms, and then I slept in the other one, but connected by that blue bathroom. And then as we grew older, I kind of wanted a little bit more privacy, but I didn't want to lose the connection, so we moved from the bathroom, because the bathrooms didn't have doors at the time. The blue bathroom that has doors on it didn't have doors at the time.
Oh.
Yeah. At least I can't remember. Maybe they were always just open and we just never knew to close them, but I don't know. I can't remember any doors right now.
Good vibes.
Good door vibes. But then where my room is now, I have to go through my brother's bedroom to get to my bedroom. Yeah. And so we've always been connected, and I've always, as I've gotten older, I've always reflected. I'm like, there are times where I'm like, I wish my room wasn't connected because I want more privacy. But I'm actually more thankful that we were connected with our rooms all the time, because I would not be as close with him as I was today. Because a lot of my hobbies were like outdoor stuff and like going on adventures and stuff. I really love to explore and go do dumb stuff outside, where he couldn't do a lot of that. So it would be a lot more indoor stuff for him. But the house was great. The living room was pretty big. The kitchen was big. It's like pretty open floor plan because my brothers would be in a wheelchair one day, and so my parents kind of planned for that. They built this house for Addison's like mobility, even though now they're just like, I wish we had a one story, but beggars can't be choosers. It had a massive hill growing up in the backyard, but we flattened it recently, and now it's this cool like backyard that's huge and has a water feature and like 3 different fire pits. I don't understand my dad's motive behind that, but he loves fire, and if you ask him, he'll go fire. Yeah. But then my parents' bedroom was there, kind of the back of the house by the front. Oh. Something just happened. Oh. Okay, never mind. False alarm. Oh. My laptop just like turned the screen off.
Oh, thank God.
That would have sucked. We could have just hopped right back in though.
Yeah.
We could have just hit play again. But yeah. But what was I saying? Oh yeah, there's my parents' bedroom and all that stuff, and it was two car garage. Yeah, that's kind of it. Yeah, we have a hot tub now, which is great. Have you been in that? Yeah,
no, I've never been in the tub.
You need to. But yeah, it's great. It's currently infested by ants right now. Shout out ants.
What?
Yeah. I don't need to go into that. It's just ants. Ants. Yeah, that's kind of that.
Cool.
Yeah.
I think those are the basic questions I had right now.
Do you have any that you thought of, or any of mine that you want to replicate?
Let me think here.
What do you think? My interest, I thought it'd be good to talk about. My interest is, growing up, I was more into like Star Wars and cowboys was my kind of thing. So that was kind of that. And so I was much more of an outdoor kid. Like I'd take the ideas, what I see in movies and TV shows and stuff, and I'd go outside and play them with my neighbors and stuff. I was really into parkour as a kid at one point.
That was something I didn't touch on, but I was too.
It was a big parkour guy. Around when the game Uncharted came out is when I got into parkour. For reasons unknown. But yeah, and then as I got older, I had a more understanding for, video games and stuff like that, and I really fell in love with that. And my personal hot take opinion, I think a lot of video games are better than a lot of movies that are out right now. I
totally agree.
You're ready for this, Deacon?
Yeah.
And you could definitely disagree with this.
Okay.
I think the past 5 years of video games beat the past 5 years of movies story-wise.
No, I'd agree. I think I've had more powerful experiences in gaming recently than I have. Last was Part 2, Spider-Man PS4.
Ghost of
Basically
Tsushima.
every PlayStation exclusive game I've enjoyed more.
Yeah, Xbox. I'm excited to see what you do at this Summer Games Fest that's coming up in I think next week.
We'll see.
Yeah,
we'll see.
But yeah, those are kind of my interests. Yeah.
Tell us about your creativity and what you like to do in your off time.
Yeah. I love music. Always growing up, I would always be listening to music. Music is a massive passion. Talking about it, listening to it, creating it. I play guitar. I played guitar for 15 years now, and I'm still not that great, but, great is subjective. Is that the word? Yeah, subjective. And so, I always like to do what I can do. I play a little bit of bass now. I'm learning bass for our church, which is pretty dope. I know some drum stuff on the B-pad, I guess, if that you want to count that as an instrument. But love music. Unfortunately, because life and other creative outlets, I haven't played a lot of music or written a lot of music. Or I've definitely written a lot of music, but I don't play it as much. And, I think, there's just not a lot of outlets for singing. And I love to sing. Love to sing. I think that's my best. I think that's my biggest talent is my voice. Yeah. Got to be honest. And I think because of no shade at all, but just because there's, the only outlet for really singing is the worship band at our church, and they don't really do a lot of guys singing. I feel like my talent in college for singing has kind of been squandered by myself, totally, because I could, make things, and that's what I hope, with this new house, to host some little tiny desk concerts in our backyard or in a living room, because we have that massive space. But
I love that.
Right. But love music. Another creative thing I love to do is make movies. So for those of you who don't know, if you don't know, I don't know what you're doing, but me, Deacon, and our roommates and a couple other guys now, we are Goon Productions. I would say that Deacon Owen and I, our other roommate Owen, we're probably like the lead directors. Probably we're the head of the team.
Yeah.
And then other guys like Seth, Bruce, and Marcus, they're definitely a part of the creative process, of course.
100%. They're just newer to
the game.
Yeah.
And so I think Deacon Owen and I's vision is more aligned. I think our vision's more aligned with each other's, and Seth Bruce and Marcus is kind of different, which is nice because now we're branched off to different story ideas. Like last night we had a meeting about what the next year of Goon Productions was like, and dude, as tired as I was looking at our roster again on my phone.
Oh yeah,
dude, the next year, if we hit all those, dude, we're getting so many genres.
Oh yeah,
yeah. Hopefully we can do some teasing kind of stuff on our Goon Instagram about what's to come to get people hyped.
Oh yeah,
yeah, that's a big thing. Writing music, I already talked about that, but yeah, just the movies that has taken a big kind of sophomore year and on. So kind of the beginning of last year was a huge movie creative side, and I realized I really love movies. Another creative thing that kind of ties in with the movie and the acting and stuff is theater. Love theater. I don't do it too much now at all, quite frankly. I do love to attend a theater, and maybe next year I'll join a production. That's cool. That would be very on brand for Braxton to join a production senior year.
True.
But I love the theater. I love the arts, and I love listening to musicals and stuff like that. Other creative things I like to do. Is D&D creative?
That's what I was gonna bring up. If you didn't, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we run a D&D campaign, a Star Wars D&D. Not strictly Star Wars D&D, but I think I prefer Star Wars D&D over the traditional, just because it's nostalgic for me. But D&D, I love writing the narrative stories. I've always been a storyteller. Even my real life stories, I love telling them in elaborate ways, and I think a little bit of not stretching the truth essentially, but spicing the story up is always always a good element, and you can really do that in D&D. So I would say that, and yeah, I'd say those are my creative outlets. Yeah.
Perfect.
Is that the last question?
That was the last question I had. I think maybe we can switch over to our rapid fires.
Dude, yeah. Okay, I have some just to kind of break the ice with kind of our passion, and I think maybe we could talk about Goon Productions on a later because I'm looking at my docket right now and I see we missed Goon Productions rap music that we've written and just how our favorite movies have affected us. Yeah. So maybe we do a separate episode with a separate guest who's really into it. Maybe Al or something like that, right? Mm-hmm. Anyway, oh my gosh. Top 5 superheroes and villains. Start with heroes.
What?
I can start while you think.
Okay.
And this is no particular order. Superman, Batman, Spider-Man, Invincible, and The Flash. And why I pick those is you can kind of see a common theme with Superman and Invincible. I am a big fan of the overpowered superhero because the way that their villain has to get creative, you can't just get stronger than the Superman or Invincible, right? You can't just get stronger. You have to become something else entirely to defeat this invincible, invulnerable Superman-like character, right? Yeah. You have to either milk their weakness like kryptonite, or in Invincible's case with no weakness, you have to become something so much more, so much creative to beat these kind of heroes, right? And I mean Batman. Who doesn't love Batman? Right? Yeah. I love Batman always when I was a kid. The superhero without a superpower, right? No one can be more badass than Batman.
True.
Like, that's just facts right there. Facts don't lie.
Facts don't lie.
They really don't. Spider-Man, love him just because I feel like I resonate personality-wise with like a more energetic Peter Parker. Mm-hmm. Like when Peter puts on the suit and how flamboyant and spontaneous he is, I feel like that's a little bit of my personality, or at least more towards when I was a kid growing up. That's how I kind of resonated with that. And then The Flash. I've just been a massive Flash fan since I was a kid. And I just don't know why. Honestly, I don't really like The Flash's direction right now.
Oh, yeah.
Snyder Cut was cool.
Yep.
Was definitely cool. But everything else Flash-wise, I think has been bad. Yeah. And I'm not really excited for this new movie.
Yeah, I can safely say that I still don't think the movie's going to come out. I just have a feeling that it's never going to come out.
Well, WB...
Even though it's filmed and everything, I have that sneaking suspicion. I don't know why.
I think you'll be right, because sometimes you can call out pretty weird things, and you're pretty accurate with those, like the Boston and the Warriors.
I predicted the finals right for the first time in my life.
Finals, but go Boston.
Go Boston.
But, yeah, The Flash... Yeah. But WB did say today that Ezra Miller is staying. He's not recasted for this new movie. Yeah. But that is just for this movie.
The time of this recording.
Dude.
We'll see.
Give me Dylan O'Brien. Yeah, time of this recording. Okay, Deacon, give me... Or I'll do my villains. I'll do my villains real quick. The Joker. Obviously, you can't have Batman without the Joker. I would say the Joker's probably one of, if not the best, supervillains of all time. Black Adam.
Okay.
Huge soft spot for Black Adam. I'm so excited for the Rock to have this. Whenever the Rock started getting into his like acting phase, like I know he did a lot like Doom and stuff like that, movies less known, but like I think like San Andreas on is when I'm like, dude, he would be a killer Black Adam, because he started really getting into his bulk, right? He started becoming from the like post game plan like movies where he was still big.
True.
But then in San Andreas,
now he's just a monster.
He's a boulder. He's no longer the Rock. Dwayne the Boulder Johnson.
Dwayne the Boulder.
Is he natural?
He's upgraded.
Do you know if he's natural? Like if he's on steroids or anything? Like?
I would lean towards he's natural. We've seen him in person.
We have seen him in person. Yeah. We have seen him from afar though, and he's not as big as I think the movie's playing out to be.
He looks small. Like not like stature wise.
Dude, you just called it right.
Like stature wise.
Stature wise, he's not that tall in my opinion. Yeah. But also, we were on different elevations. Yeah. But anyway, yeah, Black Adam, super hyped. I think being this ancient Egyptian guy from Kahndaq is so cool, and like just being all bad, and like he can beat Superman.
True.
He can beat Shazam. He can be anybody. I would say he's one of the more powerful superheroes in the DC universe, depending on who's writing him.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But I mean, I guess that's subjective as well. Like, whoever's writing whoever, right? But I just love him so much. I think the costume's cool. I think his whole, like, accent and stuff. Injustice, I think he's badass. Mm-hmm. His costumes are always cool. But yeah. I don't know if this counts as a super villain, but Scorpion from MK? Does that count?
Yeah, he's a super villain. Yeah, sure.
Okay.
I think that's fair. But then is Sub-Zero also a super villain?
Yes.
Okay.
They're both villains. They're both villains. Yeah. There's an Mortal Kombat app that I used to have, and it had every character, and you could click on them, and you could read about them and watch all their fatalities and stuff. Both Sub-Zero and Scorpion are listed as villains.
Oh, okay.
Their alignment was evil.
Okay.
So, going off whoever made that app, I guess.
Yeah.
But Scorpion, super cool character. My dad introduced me to Mortal Kombat very early on as a youngster. And, God bless it, because I, in love with the color yellow, in love with fire abilities. I think they're so cool. Even though I have no fire characters on this list. Which is kind of funny.
That is funny.
But I just love him. I think he's so cool. The whole revenge story of, like, being this undead flame master.
Yeah.
The get over here. It's just classic.
Iconic.
He's so menacing, and I've loved that he's a staple throughout the franchise. Dr. Doom.
Yep.
Here's the weird thing. I don't know a lot about Dr. Doom. I just think he's really badass.
It's funny because I was gonna put him on my list, but I was like, I haven't experienced too much, and I still almost put him on there just because he is
right. That's my thing.
His personality, and he's accomplished a lot of stuff, and he has long tenure in Marvel. So
right, that's what I'm saying, and it's just he's a big character in the Marvel universe, and I can't wait for the MCU to touch on it. Cillian Murphy would kick ass as
so
Dr. Doom, or Giancarlo Esposito. I would rather see Cillian Murphy.
Yeah, same.
But I feel like Giancarlo could also do a good Dr. Doom if he just stops aging. But yeah, Dr. Doom, love him. I think his powers are dope. My only interaction with him is the Superhero Squad TV show cartoon with Dr. Doom with Doom City or whatever.
Yeah.
I loved it. Loved it. And then lastly is Thrag from Invincible.
Oh, interesting.
I love Thrag. I think at first didn't like him. Didn't like him at all. I thought he was kind of a lame character. But just as how, comics pan out, they just get better and better and better.
Yeah.
And I fell in love with the dude. I think the way his story ends is one of the best comic book fights of all time.
Totally agree.
Superhero fights of all time. Cannot wait to see how they do that in the TV show on Amazon Prime series.
So many seasons for that.
So many years. I'm saying like 2027 we're seeing that.
Yeah.
We're seeing that fight.
Yeah.
Maybe even later. But yeah, those are my heroes and villains. I would love to hear yours real quick, and then we can hit these rapid fire questions, and then we could wrap it.
All right. 5 of my favorite heroes. Spider-Man, number 1.
Yeah.
Not number 1 of all time, but number 1 for this list.
Sure.
As I said earlier, some of my earliest memories are equated with Spider-Man. I think as far as all of these characters go, he's like the most adaptable to every medium, or at least he translates really well to, like, from off the page to movies and TV and video games. There's a very good track record with all of that.
Sure.
I love the duality between Peter and Spider-Man because they're two different characters, and like when he, like, kind of what you touched on, when he gets in the costume, he's able to be like even more of himself, and is able to like release some of the tension that he has going on in his life. But even then, Spider-Man's life can screw up Peter's life, so it's like how does he balance the two, and at different times in the character's history,
sometimes
one
Peter
of the personalities is
life,
screwing up the second would be Batman. Think I really draw near to Batman during like emotional states. Like I think like he's way more of a, I don't know, because like Spider-Man's the day-to-day stuff, but Batman's like the extreme, and it's like, well, what happens when these like villains come into your life, and what happens when you have the resources to travel around the world and become like peak human and try to figure out all these things, and it's like he's still a man, but he like tries to elevate himself into something that he can't really reach, but he's still trying to for the people around him. Yeah. And I think the element of like Batman's like supporting cast is really big, because Spider-Man's is too, but not in a way where they can directly help him in the fight, which is cool. And I like seeing the Bat family and how they've evolved over the years.
Yeah, I was gonna say, especially that the runs of the Bat family in the comic books, like, oh, dude, his sidekicks, the orphans he brings into the team, make him his character. Totally. Would you say Batman's a comfort character? Like you were saying, like the emotional demons, like inside, even though we're not facing like demons, like real Ra's al Ghul, like stuff like that, like Batman, but like like depression or anxiety and like worries and stuff like that. Would you say Batman is like a comfort character, like you go to?
Yeah, I think so, because it's like, again, like to parallel the two heroes, I think Batman is more of the like, he like internalizes all that. And, like, it represents what, like, he doesn't want other people to experience in their lives. And it's, like, the constant fight against crime and, like, how much he can actually do to prevent or even harm in the efforts is interesting. That's not really touched on with a lot of the other heroes. Like, a lot of it's, like, reactionary for the other heroes. But Batman, it's either he is the issue or, like, he puts the issue to an end no matter what. Which I think is a cool element to his character. Another one would be, I agree, Invincible. Definitely my favorite comic book run of all time, from beginning to end, because he actually gets to have an ending. Mark Grayson is a good combination between Peter Parker and Clark Kent, but has enough of his character, like on paper that's what he looks like, but he has enough of his own distinctions that he is his own fully grown character. And super intense too. Everything that I don't think I've ever seen another character in comics that gets thrown through the ringer more than Mark Grayson does. Yeah. Besides maybe Matt Murdock, but even then, some of the stuff that's depicted in Invincible is insane. So, and then that leads to Daredevil. I would say he's in my top 5 as well. It's cool to have a Christian superhero that's not really represented in a lot of like a devout Christian. So that's something that. His faith impacts all of his decisions and in all the comics and in the TV show, and just represents his character in a way that isn't typical, which I really enjoy. And and then I would say my 5th choice for this would be Cyclops. Got super big into the X-Men when I became a teenager, and I think that happened because of the way he interacts with the rest of the Marvel universe. Like he's such a prototypical leader, which seems like kind of a boring character. And like, I think I personally, when I was younger, was like, oh, Leonardo's the worst Ninja Turtle and Superman's boring and Captain America's boring because they're the leaders and they're not edgy. And I was like, I like these other characters that like fit outside of that. But now that I've gotten older and I actually understand like how important leadership is in someone's life, I gravitate towards those characters that are like very like firmly like set in their ways, and they're putting other people's like safety above their own, which is a thing like that's really impacted X-Men. I think it's cool because he's changed a lot over the years, and he became a villain for a long time, even though his efforts weren't to do that. And it's cool how he was pitted against the whole X family, and the way he is now. And I'm really praying that we finally get a good Cyclops on screen. So
Dacre.
Yep. He'd be great.
Dacre would be amazing.
And then we got Green Goblin.
Dude, I knew Green Goblin was going to be on your list.
I know I could make this whole list Spider-Man or Batman, but I tried to just limit it to one of each. So, Green Goblin, Joker, Reverse Flash, Lex Luthor.
Dude.
And I chose an Invincible villain, but not Thrag. I put Conquest. Because I think it's the first time that Mark's like world was kind of rocked in a way. And it has my favorite fight in all of comics or superheroes, and because when I first read that I was about 12 and I'd never seen anything like that in superhero stuff. And if anybody's read it, I know there's a couple of our friends that have, they can relate to that. And I just remember, I have this vivid memory of walking through the mall at a Sephora while my mom's shopping, and I was just like flipping. I could not stop reading it. I'm like, this is in superhero comics. Like, Mark, I've never seen another supervillain beat up a hero like that and just have absolutely no regard for his life. So that he's in my top 5.
Conquest is so badass.
So, that was a quick run through of those, because I'm sure that we'll talk about superheroes again later. But that was a good topic to touch on.
I got a couple questions here. Yeah, just rapid fire, and we could both answer them. We could give like a small, brief reason as to why we think that. Who wins in a fight? These are guest questions before
Yep.
I get ahead of myself. They're not guest questions, but they're viewer questions. We popped on a Instagram live here a second ago, and we just asked a bunch of questions, and this is what we got. Who wins in a fight, a gorilla or a grizzly? I'm going gorilla.
Yeah, I'd go gorilla too. Pure strength. Pure strength. I also just have a fondness for apes, no matter what, so I'm not going to lie, there's bias there.
Yeah. I'll be honest, there's bias towards bears for me.
Oh, really? Okay.
But I do pick gorillas because it is the strength and it is the thumbs.
Oh, yeah.
The opposable thumbs.
Yep.
Dude, the opposable thumbs and like the thing. But if like a Kodak grizzly bear, like the back of that bear like reaches the top of my, like that's where the back of the bear stops.
Oh.
Like on fully grown versions of Kodak bears, these things are huge, man. Like these things are like prehistoric beasts, right? But I just think a gorilla honestly would break its bones before it could even bite, or bite twice, right?
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. Okay, next one. Favorite clothing and why? Article of clothing and why is it your favorite article of clothing?
Oh, crap. I am going to go with, okay, shoes count as clothing, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to go with a solid pair of classic white Vans.
Dude.
Yeah, if you know me, I wear Vans on every occasion. That started back in high school. I had a lot of pairs of Vans, but there was this time where my friends and I used to go to the YMCA all the time to play basketball. Mm-hmm. And I didn't bring my basketball shoes, and I played in my Vans, and I was just going through a slump shooting and just not having a good time. And I played in my Vans, and I was lights out. And then from then on, I would, no joke, every time just show up to the gym in Vans and play.
Would you play games in Vans?
Oh, yeah, all the time. Yeah, just against random
and
people.
You pop off.
And I pop off. I did better than my Kobe's. So
Dude.
I always wear Vans. I think they look great. They're cheap. They're very durable. They're everything I want in a shoe.
Fair enough. Converse or Vans?
I've never had a pair of Converse.
Would you ever be interested in having a pair of Converse?
Yes, I'd love to wear a pair of Converse.
I'm the way that you are with Vans with Converse. I can do anything and everything in those shoes. Yeah. But my probably favorite article of clothing. Okay, I'm looking at it right now. It's this stripe. It's a Cat in USA blue striped, pinstriped, tan button down shirt, t-shirt shirt kind of guy. I just said shirt so many times. Shirt. But there's just one dope shirt. Two, it's in Outer Banks, which is one of my favorite bad TV shows of all time.
Bad?
Okay.
Is it bad now?
No, it's not bad.
Oh, okay.
It's just like a lot of people, because it's 30-year-olds playing.
Oh, it's your guilty pleasure.
It's my guilty pleasure TV show. That's a
there
way better way of saying it. Guilty pleasure TV show. Yeah. Bad. No, but I love that shirt because I love John B. I think we're similar in personality-wise in some ways. Anyway, but the reason I love it so much, and it's my favorite, is not because it makes me look cool or drippy or sexy or whatever, but because in California over last summer, Taylor and I, my girlfriend, we would go on a lot of dates. Every Saturday we'd go on a date. The whole day we'd spend them together. And when we were down in California, and I would always wear that shirt. It was just one of my favorite dates. We went to Coronado Island. And we went and got food, and we were like rats in like the rich part of the neighborhood because everyone was wearing like designer stuff and so bougie. Like I think I saw a Bugatti that day. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh yeah, I remember seeing something.
Yeah. I definitely saw 2 Lambos. Definitely saw those. But I wore that shirt and a pair of jeans, and it felt right. And there was just so many pictures, and we recorded the entire day to remember it forever, and just. There's some of the best moments watching the sun go down, running around on the beach, sneaking into the hotel, hammocking. It was just amazing. So many good memories in that shirt. Yeah. Next question. Favorite bug? Boom.
Oh, dude, I don't know any bugs. Ladybug?
Is that your ladybug?
Sure, I'm going to say ladybug.
That's your ladybug.
The first thing that said, it popped in my head.
That's your ladybug. Yeah, I got to go Bumblebee because I'm Braxton, and B for Braxton. Shout out Barry Benson. Ben Stiller, he's not even in the movie. But yellow. Yeah. What's your off-brand fact?
Dude.
I had one earlier, so I got to think of it. I got to remember real quick.
So every time I think of this question, I think of one of my answers was about a month or two ago, and everyone said that's pretty on brand. But now that one always sticks with me, and it's that I love rom-coms.
That's not off-brand for you, though.
Why is that not off-brand?
Because everyone knows you love rom-coms.
I feel like my vibe doesn't give off that I like rom-coms.
I think it does.
Well, that's fair enough.
I just go, I think it does. You go, compelling argument.
What's my off-brand fact?
I remember mine.
Okay, sure.
I can say mine.
Yeah.
And it's not a current fact anymore, but I thought of it earlier, and I think it's really funny to say here. So when I was a kid, and like in middle school and a little bit of high school, I had this, not high school, but in middle school when I was still growing up and like figuring out my brain, I had this, I think that belly buttons in like the midriff zone when I was a kid was like the golden, I don't know. I just couldn't get enough of them. So like Kim Possible, Courtney Gears, those characters, dude, had me going crazy as a kid. And so that was just it. I don't feel like I come off as much of like a hound dog in that way. But when I was a kid, I guess I was. Okay. But I guess an off-brand fact about me right now is that I am really into jazz. I actually don't think a lot of people know that. I'm really into jazz music.
Okay.
Yeah. Love jazz. I was in a jazz choir, a couple jazz bands in high school. See, I feel like you know it. Mm-hmm. And like I think that's the problem with this question between you and me is that it's not off-brand for you and me. But for the people listening and outside, like, they don't know I love jazz. Like, only my high school buddies know I love jazz. And,
yeah, that's fair.
You know? So, yeah, that's mine.
Yeah, actually, I'm going to stick with mine. I think only my close circle knows that I like rom-coms. Sure,
totally. I like that. What is the worst TV franchise show of all time? We could go on this for days. Okay,
so I am going to say the entire umbrella of criminal investigation shows. I'm going to say NCIS, CSI, Criminal Minds. I don't care about any of those shows because there's a million episodes, and as far as I know from the outside looking in, none of the characters are different enough in all those shows to actually warrant the amount of seasons and different branches that these shows have by just switching cities.
Wow.
I'm gonna say that
NCIS Miami, NCIS LA, MCIS. Yeah.
And I know people love them. I just can't get into them. I understand the appeal because it's like, well, if you like solving cases and you like the justice and you like the character development, you're going to be in for the long haul. But I just know that it's going to get solved.
Yeah.
And
that is the...
I know, but it's just not... But it's like, it's going to be the same format for every episode.
Sure.
And that's just not fun for me because it just doesn't seem worth it.
Yeah. I get that. Yeah. I get that. I would also agree. But I think the worst TV show... Oh my gosh, I'm having a really hard time with this one, gotta be honest. I'm just gonna throw one out, and I don't know if I truly believe it, but I didn't like it, and I never will. It's gotta be. Do you want to guess?
That's gonna be Friends.
No.
Okay.
No, because you gotta respect Friends for basically not pioneering, but no, but. Legends of Tomorrow, the CW show, Legends of Tomorrow.
Yeah, sure, that's fine.
That's all I can think of right now. I thought of like maybe like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. because I did not like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but I know a lot of people did love Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and they're trying to get it canonized now. Yeah. But, or I don't know, maybe it is canon, I don't know. But yeah, that's where it is. Favorite book of the Bible?
Oh, man. I think a book that I consistently go back to is Romans. Mm-hmm. It's got a lot of really interesting topics to talk about theology-wise, as most of the books of the Bible do, but just a lot of topics that I'm really interested in. Mm-hmm. And I also find it very comforting, and a lot of my favorite Bible verses are found in Romans, and it was also the first chapter of the Bible that I ever fully memorized, which was Romans 12. Yeah. So I would say off the cuff, that would be my answer.
Yeah, that's good. I would say Romans 2, but to spice it up, probably Exodus.
Oh, yeah.
The specific moment in Exodus that makes it my favorite is when Moses is like, I can't do this, God. I can't go. and free liberate the people, liberate the chosen people, right? From Egypt, from Pharaoh's grasp. And God, says to Moses, like, throw your staff on the ground. Throws it on the ground, turns into this massive serpent, right?
Yeah.
And then he's like, now pick it up. And he just picks it up, like, no question.
So cool.
Like, and I think that obedience that you, like, and you see it throughout the entire Bible, but I love how it stands out in the Old Testament. For me personally, I'm a big Old Testament fan. I'm just not Jewish. It's just so cool to me how obedient this, like, early prehistoric age of people, right, are. And he picks it up, and then God says, like just go tell them of my power, right? Yeah. That's badass. That's like Captain America picking up Mjolnir, dude.
The shyest and most quiet person too, that has like zero speaking skills. Yes. And he's like, yes, I'm gonna go tell all these people now.
I'm really gonna go liberate the biggest slave capital in the world. Yeah. Crazy. And then he leads them, and then throughout Deuteronomy, and all that stuff. And so I just finished Deuteronomy last night, but yeah. And last one we have, if you could relive something for the first time, what would that be?
Dude, that is a good question.
I got something right here. Whether it's the most important, but it's something that's coming off the dome right now, is the premiere.
Dude, I was gonna say the premiere.
We can say it too.
Okay, I'll say the premiere. I'd say the premiere.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's honestly one of the best nights of my life. Like, all my favorite people gathered together, watching something that we made and put a lot of time and effort into, and seeing that brought all other people happiness and joy. And it was just something that I never really imagined doing. So, and we got to dress nice and look all fancy, right? And take pictures and create a lot of memories that'll last forever. So
yeah, I love the. Yeah, I mean, same goes for me, and like a different aspect that I really loved was, and I know you didn't see a lot of side of it, a lot of that side, but the planning of it was really, really fun for me, and I realized that I love throwing, and I always knew I loved throwing parties and events because I think I'm pretty good at it, but this like this scale of an event, like when it went from like just a party at my house to like, okay, getting a venue, then getting stuff for the venue, planning it all out, teching it all out beforehand, and then just watching it unfold and see it be like literally everything I hoped and dreamed of. Yeah. With like maybe one minor snafu, which was there was like bottlenecking at the front door, but that's okay. Yeah. Like that's minuscule to the whole evening. Like that was so much fun. Making that connection and like signing paperwork and stuff like that, that was really fun for me. And like just setting that all up was super fun. And then just to sit there next to you and Owen and Taylor and Alex and basically everyone that was in the movie and all that stuff, like just sitting there and like just like we see it on screen and we've seen it 100 times because we lived it, we've acted it, we've directed it, we've produced it, we've edited it, we've everything, and then we look at each other because like, oh dude, we just saw it on the big screen, right? And then we look back and then we'd hear the audience go, oh.
Actually, audibly gasp is one of the best moments of my life. When I ain't gonna lie, I'm like, they actually enjoyed it.
Yes.
They were invested. I was like,
yes.
Hopefully. Oh yeah. For context, also, if we for some reason have people listening this far into this first episode that don't know who we are,
an hour and 20 minutes in.
Yeah. We threw a movie premiere for all of our homemade movies. They're incredible.
We got to dedicate an episode to Goon Productions.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we will.
Yeah. But yeah, that's the last question. Deacon, do you have anything else you want to say?
There's two comments I have. One, I want to say I loved how energetic we were and how lively we were at the very beginning. We still are now.
I know.
But we, for the, because, I'm going to keep saying it, but we're not visual right now. We were sitting crisscross and uptight and that kind of thing. And then about 30 minutes ago, we both just put our backs to the bed and staring in front of each other. And our tones have kind of smoothed out. I don't know if you've ever been driving at like 2 a.m., but they have these like conspiracy theory podcast people. They have this tone of voice when they're talking. And that's kind of what we slipped into. And I just want to comment that I really enjoy that.
I kind of like it too. And there goes
the spike.
The spike. It's stabilizing. No, I want to point that out too. And the second thing you want to point out
is that Braxton and I have a mind link.
Oh my gosh, we need to talk about this. Okay, Deacon and I, people continuously get us confused. They say we look like brothers. literally our boss at our work, Sancadia, shout out Sancadia, literally confused us all the time. Everyone at work confuses us all the time. They think we're brothers. And we literally have almost the identical opinions on every form of media.
Yeah.
We have identical opinions in situations, like with our friends and stuff like that. And like how we interpret like stuff in the Bible. And then also we just we experience things throughout our day like the exact same way, just in different situations. As well as we think the exact same thing at the same time.
And we say the same phrases that are like, sometimes it makes no sense that we would say the same thing at the same time.
Yeah, exactly. It's crazy. Yeah. It's crazy, and I'm here for it. It's kind of weird.
Yeah. I don't know if have we told a lot of people that we have this kind of thing? I think it's probably only like Taylor that really knows about it.
I mean, Owen and
but
like outside of our house, then
probably
just them. Yeah. I also just want to point out that this is the first episode, and it's an hour and 25 minutes. We went way over time, but I think that's granted for the first episode because we had a lot to say. And yeah, I don't know how many people will listen to this. I would love to, all our friends, listen to this. But if you can, put in the comments what you want to hear us talk about.
Yeah.
It could be anything. It could be super deep about like the hardest triumphs we've ever had to and how we've like struggled to have relationships with God and each other and hardships with our roommates and stuff and our families. Or it could be as lighthearted as, dude, what did you do this weekend? What's your favorite video game, right?
Yeah.
So let us know what you want to hear about, and let us know who you want to listen to on the podcast. This is a guest base, so next episode we should have a guest on.
Let's get a nobody.
We're going to get another nobody. So, again, thanks for watching. Nobody's watching. The podcast where we go to you to ask questions and learn about the nobodies in our neighborhood. So, thanks for watching, guys, and have a great rest of your day and night.
Have a good one.
Oh.